Pickleball is one of the most popular sports among people 50 and older. It's also one of the sports that causes a lot of injury among people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. Ankles, knees, and hips. Why is that? Well, as we age, we have less elasticity and less cartilage in our bodies, meaning that when we need to pivot and change direction or land during a fall, we don't have as much cushioning as we used to. Furthermore, this is a very fast-paced game. We're having to make decisions on the fly. Things like how low do we need to go when we dink a ball? Or how far do we lunge when we get the ball over the net? And any misstep can cause an injury that could be life-changing and prevent us from being on the pickleball court for months at a time. Luckily, one way to prevent this is through strength training. And the best way to strength train, in my opinion, is with the steel mace. Hello, I'm Shuva. I'm a steel mace coach as well as a recreational pickleball player. I want to show you two steel mace moves that I think are very effective in helping prevent injury and keeping you playing pickleball for many years to come. So let's get started. This is a steel mace. This is 7 pounds. It's a long metal rod with a weighted ball at the end. And it is one of the most potent forms of strength training for women in midlife, as well as men, but especially women, because as we age, we start losing muscle mass at a pretty rapid rate. This is one of the most effective tools to train and build muscle, because if we have more muscle, we're bound to have fewer injuries when we're doing the movements and the sports that we enjoy. The first movement I'm going to show you is called a Yogi Squat to full flag. So think of it as a two-part movement. The first one is a squat, and when we are squatting, we want to make sure our hips are facing forward and we want to have our legs a little bit outside our hips. That would be my preference. And then once you squat down, you want to try to make sure your back is as straight as possible and your knees are tracking your toes. You're putting more weight into your heels than your toes. So you're coming down and making sure that you have a nice long line from the crown of your head to your tail. When you have the mace and the full flag, with the mace, what that is you're extending your arm like you're carrying a flag, just like it sounds. When you're doing this, you want to have your arm at shoulder level. You also want to hold your mace in the middle at what's called the mid grip. You want to have your hands aligned a little bit above your belly button. So bringing the squat and the full flag together, and we want to bring our shoulders back and down and draw elbows to our sides. From here, we want to inhale to start and then exhale through our teeth. Inhale here. One more time. So the impact of the mace is really important because it's working our grip as well as our shoulder stability. So we want to make sure that we have that nice straight spine and not rounding our neck, pressing our shoulders forward, but not so much that we are losing track of that mace and losing control of it. So that is your Yogi Squat to full flag. The next movement is a Warrior Two. Warrior Two is the quintessential pose in yoga. So let's get into Warrior Two first without the mace. I'm going to extend this leg out so the foot is facing away from me and this foot is facing toward you. Now before I bend this leg, what I always like to do is take about a half step back with this back foot and then bend into this front leg. This helps increase the distance between the feet, and also when I bend this leg, I want to just imagine I'm externally rotating the thighs. That will just increase that energy in the legs, and then I bring my arms out to a T, and that's my Warrior Two. To add the mace in this movement, I'm going to bring my mace to the center, bring my hands into mid grip, shoulders back and down. From here, I'm going to extend the left arm out. Make sure that my arm is glued to my side body, and as I bend the leg, going into a modified side flag. Coming back to center, I can always stay on this side and do a few reps on this side, or I can alternate. So once I'm done with one side, I'm going to turn this foot and then make sure I go into warrior two on the opposite side, set up for my bend here just to see where it's at, and then extend the right arm and do my power breath as I go into my modified side flag. Going into that alternate movement. This is working our open hip and leg endurance. So this is a great movement to increase our hip stability, our leg stability, and improve our strength in our legs. And you're going to find a difference in how strong you are and how fast you are in your pickleball playing.